Robert Cheek is my name, and doing movie reviews and other content for the internet, including my new tracks available on SoundCloud, is my game. Yeah, that did not go as well as I thought it was gonna go. It's much easier for the star of our film this week. Dolemite Is My Name, this week on Everyman Movie Reviews. Hey everybody, and welcome to yet another Everyman Movie Review. We have reached the doldrums of the quarantine. At the top, as I've been doing for the last few episodes, I would just like to say I hope everyone is doing well. I hope that you're healthy, more healthy than me, certainly. And I hope that you are enjoying these reviews as a little bit of a distraction from the world around you. We have officially gotten through all of the brand new movies that I have seen, the movies that might have been in theaters. So now we are getting to movies that I have watched on streaming, which means, hey, great, they're available for you right now for free for the most part. So be sure to check these out. They're going to be available on Netflix, on HBO, on Amazon, someplace like that. So they're going to be easily available to you. It's the perfect way to get through your quarantine, no matter how much the people you're stuck with may be driving you crazy. So as I said at the opening, Dolemite Is My Name is the movie this week. You can find that on Netflix. It's a Netflix movie which never actually went out to theaters, so it's a Netflix original, but not really a Netflix original, just originally on Netflix. Before we dive too deep, let's go ahead and get the pleasantries out of the way, shall we? Dolemite Is My Name, which I'm going to refer to as Dolemite from here on out, even though I do understand there was a 1975 movie called Dolemite. It's what this movie is about. I get it, okay? I get it. But Dolemite was directed by Craig Brewer. It was written by Scott Alexander and Larry Karaszewski. And I will say, a lot of white faces above the line there for a movie that's about Dolemite. But anyway, it's starring Eddie Murphy as the titular character Rudy Ray Moore, also known as Dolemite, Keegan-Michael Key, Mike Epps, Craig Robinson, Titus Burgess, Vine Joy Randolph, and Wesley Snipes in a fantastic role that is basically playing Wesley Snipes, as well as a crazy, fantastic supporting cast of basically every well-known black actor in Hollywood. And I make that point to point out that when blaxploitation was really becoming a thing in the 70s, there really was a set of actors who kept repeating, and you would see in every single movie, they were the black actors of Hollywood, even though there wasn't really a participation by Hollywood at that time. But this movie kind of recreates that, hey, we're going to go find all the big names, the biggest names right now, and we're going to put them in this movie. And that's kind of what they did. So if you don't know the story of Dolemite, well, one, you really should just know the story. It's a fantastic one for everyone who's trying to break into the industry. Hey, this guy right here, it's a story that really should give you hope. It's about a guy who moves out to LA, although we're not really with him when he does that, but he tries everything to break into an industry. He's a singer, he's a dancer, he does everything until he finally settles on comedy. And he tries a bunch of different characters and a bunch of different bits, and nothing's really taking. Finally, he settles on this old kind of really dirty joke material that's told by old men around the way. And no matter where you grew up, you probably had this group of old men near you. Now, this is specifically like the old black guys who are from around the way and probably were born in the 1800s, given the timeline and when this movie is supposed to be set. But for me, there was just like the old dude who lived down the block who would work on people's cars out in the street, never took cash for it. It was always just like a barter exchange of, I'm going to bring you like a fifth of Jack if you can install my spark plugs, that kind of deal. And I always remember the Bernie Mac bit about the guy who lived on your block who always talked with a cigarette in his mouth, because this guy who lived on my block growing up always had a cigarette hanging in the corner of his mouth. And he could talk and do any work on a car always with that cigarette lit, burning, smoking, hanging in the corner of his mouth. And I wasn't allowed to be down there a lot when I was little because he and his friends told the dirtiest jokes that you could possibly find. I mean, aristocrats kind of dirty jokes. Well, Dolemite, played by Eddie Murphy in this movie, tries to revolutionize his career by taking all of that material and kind of like harnessing it, polishing it up, and making a character that he can go out and do. That character, of course, is Dolemite. Having a reasonable amount of success on the stage, he then takes the show on the road and goes kind of on road shows around to promote his album, because back in the day, that is what you did. You did a comedy album, you did a singing album, no matter what it was, you took it on the road. And he's working clubs all around the South, getting on the radio, promoting the show. Honestly, watch Kings of Comedy, because it's so weird to me that when that movie was shot in 1999, they were doing a lot of the same things that Eddie Murphy's character, Rudy Ray Moore, was doing in the 60s. Just driving to a town, promoting on the radio, handing out flyers, doing a show. Drive to the next town, go on the radio, hand out flyers, do the show. 40 years later, they're doing the same exact thing. So clearly that is the recipe for success, or at least it was back before the 2000s. But he promotes the album enough that he gets a hit on the Billboard charts. They bring him back to LA. He does a couple of more albums, and now he's basically hit the cruising stage where he can just produce material, put it out, make a bunch of money, and be stable. But it's not enough for Rudy. Rudy wants more. Again, it's a story of somebody breaking in who's just always hungry. I know a lot of you who are watching this are probably the same way. So he turns his sights on the silver screen. He wants to be in movie. But no one will support his dream, and no one will support his character on the big screen. Just the same way that no one supported his comedy act until he proved that it would work. So much like that, much like the comedy album, which he had to pay for and produce himself, he decides to make the movie himself. Now, Dolemite Is My Name is a movie that's been out on Netflix for, 5 or 6 months now. But if you haven't seen it, I still want to give you a little bit of a spoiler warning. We're going to get to kind of the second half of the second act and into the third act. So if you don't want to hear any spoilers, skip down to the time below, because the spoilers are going to come at you right now. So if you've never seen Dolemite, which I highly recommend watching the original, at the end there are some scenes from Dolemite that seemed so ludicrous in this retelling of the story, but are actually in the movie, which makes it fantastic. I don't like the term blaxploitation, even though that's essentially what it was. Rudy puts it very aptly in the movie itself. Like, we all know there have been white men taking black men's product and stealing the money and not giving them any. That's basically what blaxploitation was during the late 60s and early 70s, and even into the 80s, where they would find a product that sold, Shaft, for example, and then buy that product away from someone and then reproduce it and not give the original idea, the person who produced the original product, any of the credit or any of the profits. But I just find it to be such a unique period in film where young filmmakers were out in the world doing their own thing. This is the time when Scorsese was coming up. A lot of the filmmakers who you know and love as classics now were making films out in Hollywood. But a lot of the really fantastic work, entertaining work, was being done by blaxploitation directors and actors. And Dolemite is a fantastic example of that. And it's really interesting to see that from the other side, the breaking the fourth wall and seeing from behind the camera what is going on. And Dolemite is ridiculous. I fully believe that they did not intend to make a comedy when they made it. It reminds me a lot of, not that they're equal at all, but Michael Scott's movie from The Office, where he didn't intend it to be a comedy, but everybody's laughing. That's kind of how Dolemite seems to me. At the end, he kind of went with it and said, yeah, it's a comedy, of course. Yeah, that's what I intended. These people get it. Well, yeah, that's how I took it the first time as well. There's nothing you can do but laugh at the craziness of that movie. And now seeing them make it with Wesley Snipes essentially playing 60s Wesley Snipes as the director, just doesn't care. And the main character, Dolemite, Rudy Ray Moore, caring way too much and thinking he's doing way better than he actually does. And I have to say, I didn't know a lot about the history of the film. So right at that, as that third act's coming to a culmination and we're riding in the car with them to the premiere and they're reading the bad reviews and I'm thinking like, this is really not going to go well for them. I think Rudy is feeling the same way as well. And you're just there with him in that moment where it's like, it doesn't matter, right? We're a family. We made a movie. I get that feeling all the time. Listen, I've made a web series that was viewed by literally tens of you out there. It's available on the Anthem if anybody wants to check it out. But we didn't make that for everyone else. We made that for us. We had an idea. We saw it through to completion. We wrote it. We filmed it. We edited it. We produced it. Everything was us. And there's a lot of pride in that. That was our family product. And a lot of the stuff we're doing now, it's just kind of the same thing. It's like no one is really expecting that we're going to break out from any of the stuff we're doing. If we do, fantastic. And Hollywood, if you're watching this, I'm available. Come and find me, baby. But in the end, what it really comes down to is doing something fun with your friends, with your family that you choose, not the family that you're born into. And so it's so exciting when that window rolls down and you see the huge crowd who's ready and excited for the Dolemite picture. And I'm ready and I'm excited too. I'm right there with them. And I see a lot of myself in Rudy Ray Moore, where instead of going and watching the movie, he wants to be out there with the fans. In that moment, I was like, you know what? I would want to do the same thing, Rudy. You got it. But there's not much more to spoil than that. So let's go ahead and invite everybody back in. And we are going to wrap up this review right now. This is one of the easiest recommendations that I have been able to make. It is a fantastic movie, meaning Dolemite, the 1975 version, and everyone, again, should check that out. So now watching Eddie Murphy, who is a comedic genius, remake that movie in bits, just basically being able to skip the boring parts and show the funny bit. There is nothing there that people aren't going to love. I mean, like if you are a huge racist and you don't like black people, probably not the movie for you, because there's a lot of black people in it. But otherwise, I think everyone will enjoy this movie. It is the retelling of one of the funniest movies ever made. It would be, I mean, especially if you've checked out, James Franco's remake of The Room, where he is kind of showing what it took to get that movie made. If you enjoyed that, you're gonna love this. And even if you didn't, I think this is the funnier, maybe even better version of that movie, because in the end, Dolemite is way better than The Room. And yes, the comedy is super dirty, so not for kids, obviously, but if you are quarantined away with your friends, again, the family that you choose, or with other adults, and there's no risk of a child walking into a very dirty joke spewing, then I think this is the perfect movie. And if it's late at night and the kids are in bed, well, now's your perfect opportunity to check it out. It comes in at 1 hour and 57 minutes, so 2 hours, little less than most movies, but right on average for what you're going to be able to expect. It is 2 hours of escape from the world and the craziness that's going on. I cannot recommend it any higher. Please take the time to go and watch Dolemite Is My Name today. So there you have it, yet another episode of the Everyman Movie Review in the books. I want to say right at the top here, a big thank you to my patrons on Patreon. They got a preview of a bunch of new projects this week. They got a sound recording of a rap that no one else in the world is going to hear, just them. That's available on Patreon. And, if you sign up now, you too can hear that blasted recording that no one will ever hear. I'm working on some new books. They're going to get versions of that this week. Basically, it's a preview and a behind the scenes, and it's a limited group of people who get to see it. Only my patrons on Patreon get to check those out. So if you want to be one of the chosen few, join them. It's Patreon, patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek. That's patreon.com/Robert N. Cheek. And for as little as $1 a month, you get access to all of this behind the scenes stuff that they really seem to appreciate. And I do have to say a big thank you to them, not for just the monetary support, but for the moral support. It's great to get messages from people, whether it's on Patreon or on social media, just saying, this thing that you worked on was amazing. I checked out the rap, super funny. Thank you. And just giving people a little bit more, trying to get back in the only way that I can, which is basically this. And of course, you can find me on social media for free. That's at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, Snapchat, everywhere, at Robert N. Cheek. I've been posting a lot. In fact, someone told me this week that my Instagram is a must-watch. Instagram story is the first thing that they check out in the morning. I always update it on the way to work, and they're excited to see what meme I have new posted, or what story I've posted, or just what's happened in the last 24 hours, because things can get a bit crazy at work and basically in the world around us too, right? But again, no matter what network it is, at Robert N. Cheek, you're going to find my account there. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome. Make sure you take the time to put a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video and of my reviews in general, or just the review of this movie. And if you are interested, if you want to see more stuff, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. That'll let you know when the next video is up, whether it's an Everyman Movie review or any of the other stuff that I have cooking, like Rob Explains Everything. If you're listening in podcast form, I really hope you're enjoying kind of the bonus stuff that I'm throwing in over there. New recordings and little extras on every single episode. You'll find that at anchor.fm/Everyman Movie Review, or Everyman Movie Review on all of your podcatchers of choice. And if you'd like to send me a message, you can do that at anchor.fm/Everyman Movie Reviews, /message. And from there, you can send me a text or leave me a voicemail. And if you give me permission, I can't stress that enough, you have to give me permission, I can use it right on the podcast version, and people can hear exactly what you think about this show. And if you're doing one but not the other, just keep in mind you can check out the other one and see all of the content you're not seeing on your source. It's youtube.com/Rob Cheek and anchor.fm/ Everyman Movie Review. And if you can't get enough of me because, why would you? You can check out new episodes of the Oh the Anthem podcast every Tuesday. I sit down every single week and get a new podcast out with my buddy Corey. We've been doing it for the last 5 years and we are not stopping anytime soon. So make sure you check out ohtheanthem.com and Oh the Anthem on YouTube. We record the episodes live sometime between Saturday and Monday. And you subscribe to the channel, you get notifications when we go live on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch, or on YouTube. We go live on all 4 platforms at the same time. And then on Tuesday, the new episode will be available everywhere, including on your podcatcher of choice. So thank you guys for hanging out with me for yet another episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Looking to get some merch going. If anybody has anything that they would really like to do, let me know. I'm looking for ideas. And if you have ideas for new projects or new movies, send me a message on social media, on YouTube, on Anchor. Any of those places is a great place to reach me. Or join and become one of my patrons, and then you can send me a message direct. But I hope everybody takes this time to be safe, please. Take care of yourself, take care of each other. The world is in a very serious place right now, and we just want to make sure that everyone makes it through this A-okay. But I hope you found a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of escape in this program, and come back for more. New episodes will be up every single Thursday, and then one day in between, whether or not that's Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. So keep an eye out for the next episode, and until then, stay safe, and have a great week, everybody.